So here's going to be the long video. I'll be showing all of my cards from the original base set up through Call of Legends, so all the stuff that is currently not allowed in sanctioned tournaments, and so these are pretty much all for collectors. Like I said, starting out with the original base set, I have the same pattern for everything. We always start off by showing showing the hollows, then the non-hollow rares. Jungle over here. Believe these are all non-hollow rares. I do show the first editions first. And then for the fossil cards, these two are hollow, I think. Don't think that Haunter's hollow. And then the rest non-hollow rares, you can see there are some first editions. Not all of these cards are mint. I do check conditions as I'm pulling them, as people are, interested in them. So I will, let you know if something is pretty damaged. And if it is very damaged, like that Dragonair in particular, that one's fine. That one's got a lot of wear. If you're interested in just having something, even if it's damaged or not, let me know. People have fun projects and just want sometimes bulk cards, and a lot of them are willing to let them go for next to nothing or even free, depending if you're trading or buying for other things. Team Rocket, same thing, hollow shown first, and then we go to first editions, and then non-hollow rares. Gym Heroes, I think Magneton, and I think Electabuzz. Nope, Electabuzz is non-hollow. There's one little Clefairy over there. And then we go with Gym Challenge after Gym Heroes. And then Neo Genesis. It took a while, but I finally got rid of all those Genesis hollows, but we still have quite a few non-hollow rares. Now we're getting into where I don't have many Neo sets left, so they're all kind of combined here. Discovery, Revelation, and Destiny. And then we go with the Legendary Collection, including this Charizard. Now, this Charizard is beautiful, near mint, non-hollow rare. I think it's still like a $10+ card. Not 100% sure, though. I will price that before certainly we make any arrangements. Expedition. Everything that you see, in general, hollows are going to be $1. And that goes for when we get into the non-first edition sections. Rare reverses are going to be a hollow, or going to be a hollow. Going to be $1. Common, uncommon revs. Actually, sorry, that one's actually still a rare, I think. Those are the reverses. We are now into Aquapolis. Hey, Walter. Oh, you're just going to lay down there and hang out. Anyways, common, uncommon reverses, usually 50 cents. I will be pricing some of these older things from the E-Series as they are a little bit different, so do keep that in mind, that Charizard, for example. But those are the general prices that I go by. We're now getting into the EX series, where things start to get a little easier as far as just hollows, rares, rare reverses, and common and uncommon reverses. Same that we're used to with our newer sets as well. I am trading for cards on my once list only, and that can be found on TheCatsMeowth.com. I don't know if there's really much to say about this. The only other thing that I really don't do is trade my ultra rares away for non-ultra rares, but that's what these binders are for. These cards I pretty much will trade for just about anything as long as it's on that list. Now we're getting into more EX sets. Magma versus Aqua. Some of these cards, which we did see reprints of in Double Crisis, which I thought was pretty awesome. Ways to contact me. PMs, comments, emails. If you're working out a trade or a sale, comments usually are not the best place. You have to think we're going to be exchanging private information at some point regarding payment or sending the cards to each other, and you do not want that information public. PMs, the YouTube system is still a little messed up. So some things do not go through, which is why I do prefer emails. That way everything's in one place and I know that I'm getting everything. The YouTube system too, it doesn't do a very good job of giving you access to your messages as direct links from when they, email you that you have a message. So do prefer the emails. We're just finishing up with Fire Red, Leaf Green, and now on to one of my favorite series, Team Rocket Returns. And these binders are over time getting lighter and lighter, but I would love to eventually be able to get rid of all of this. I love trading with everyone, don't get me wrong, but I've got a whole shelf of these binders, and it would be much easier to put out quality videos if I could focus more time on videos rather than more time on trades. So, like I said, while I love all this stuff, would love to be able to get rid of it and be able to put that money or those cards into my collection, or the money then into opening stuff for the collection. Everything always goes back to the collection. So finished up with Emerald, Emerald, and now we're going to Unseen Forces here. And now we're on to Delta Species. And if you're interested in more than one card that you see, like if you want 4 pincers, just let me know. A lot of these cards, I do have multiple cards per sleeve. You can see the Wobbuffet right there. I must have like 8 of him or something, if he's actually in 2. So just let me know if you are interested in more than one of what you see, and hopefully we'll be able to help you out. Grab some more binders. And we're continuing on with Holland Phantoms. So the video file, this is actually my second time around doing this part of the video. The beginning and the end are going to be in the same, I guess you call it, take. This one I had to redo, well, I did them yesterday, I think. So a day later, so I do apologize if I repeat stuff, or I really have no idea what I said in the original section. And unfortunately, when I transferred this file to the computer, something happened to it, and yeah, it wasn't readable, somehow got corrupted, and probably just needed a new camera. But anyway, so I'm just going to run through general things really quick. For sales, I take cash, money order, PayPal. Trades, only trade for cards on my once list. That's TheCatsMeowth.com. Ways to contact me: comments, PMs, emails. PMs and emails are definitely preferred. Emails even more so, as YouTube's PM system doesn't always go through. And this is probably one that I've said repeatedly throughout this series of videos, but is one that I do want to emphasize, and that is that I really am trying to cut down on the number of spare cards that I have. It is so much easier to work out trades and sales when you just have a smaller pool of cards to work with. I've noticed that just over the last few years from the player perspective. You know, they pretty much just sell all their bulk in one straight deal, usually at the end of every season. Sometimes at various points throughout the year, if they depending on what kind of rates are available. But it just means that they have a lot less just cards hanging around, keeping up space. And I'm hoping that if I can get the number of cards that I have lying around down, that's less trades and sales that I would have to work with, and would give me a lot more time for videos. Right now I'm really not interested in selling everything off in bulk, just because bulk prices, you only get a few pennies per card, and they're really meant more for resellers. And not that I have any problem with bulk prices, but you know, it's a way to take advantage of someone that really doesn't want to take the time to piece out their cards. So you offer them, you know, barely nothing for them, and then someone else takes the time to flip them. Like I said, nothing wrong with that. This is certainly how I got into it, you know, buying collections off of Craigslist and eBay several, you know, probably 5 years ago, just buying bulk lots and then taking the time to piece them out. Yeah, but it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and at this point I really think people want to see more quality videos than just sale and trade stuff. Okay, so we're finishing up, excuse me, with this binder. If at any point you cannot see something, just please first just slow the video down, rewind, pause at that point, see if you can see it then. If not, feel free to contact me, PM, comment. Just list the time that you see the card in question, and I can easily pull the binder, look it up, and we can go from there. Alright, so this is kind of where the video cut off. I was able to show the first few pages, and that's when I think my battery died. But that video before, that was probably it, is when the battery died. It could not recover the file, and when it attempted, it got corrupted. So, Now let's go on to the original files. Okay, even the battery's getting a little tired of all these trade binder updates, so I do apologize for that, and we're back. We are down to the last 2 binders, so yay! And I know I haven't promoted these in a while. I did a few around Christmas, I believe, where I've been offering kind of like a little mini bulk boxes, things that are $5, $10, things that, people can afford, including shipping costs. More information about those are detailed out on my website. I believe it's just labeled like $5 and $10 bulk lots. The people that purchased from me around Christmas, that bought a few of those sets, they seem really happy by them. I mean, I'd love to throw them up on eBay, but when eBay charges you, more percentages, it means I'm gonna have to raise the price a bit. So I would prefer just to sell them through here. That, and you guys are better buyers than half the people on eBay, anyways. But I'm hoping maybe that but those bulk lots, again, look them up if you're interested. Every card that you see in here is a possibility to go in there. So if you want a lot of old just old cool random stuff, you don't really have a preference, check those out. They're not for the serious collector, but they're still kind of little fun lots, and yeah, that's pretty much all they are. It's just cute little things, mostly for your younger ones, or maybe people just getting back into collecting. So, last binder, yay! And again, this is a Pokemon binder, so the binder itself is available. I have a stash of older binders on backup, so in case I sell a Pokemon binder, I can transfer everything to another binder. Heart Gold Soul Silver. So, I love the Heart Gold Soul Silver series, and the Heart Gold Soul Silver set is one of the front runners for the next SAS episode. Voting is closed now on those. That was between Aquapolis, Rocket, and Heart Gold Soul Silver. I was actually, and we had many write-ins too, and I'm going to use the write-ins to help determine the next set, but I was very pleased by the number of people that voted, and I was a little surprised by the number of people that voted for particular sets. And I won't say any more than that. I don't want to risk spoiling what the next set is going to be. But I think I will make probably an announcement video revealing the next set to come up, and just talk a little bit about the voting process and how pleased with it that I was. And in general, I'm very happy about people's constructive criticism. I got a lot of the things were things that I had changed before the laptop died and wasn't able to carry over. Some of the things I hadn't even thought about. Some of the things I was considering changing, but was confirmed in that when a lot of other people said they didn't like a certain aspect too. So thank you, everyone. I really didn't have a lot of trolls come out and give me a hard time, even though it was not the most professional video. Like I said, mostly because the laptop died on that final render, and the prettier version was not available. And as you can see, I attended way too many Triumphant pre-releases, so I've got tons of stuff from that set. Still tons more reverses. These are all rares, and then commons and uncommons. Triumphant is such a cool set, though. I mean, I really can't complain about having a lot of bulk left over from it. It's an awesome set to look through. And then the last set, Call of Legends. This was a reprint set where they threw in a couple of exclusives. Those Cleffas. And that Tyrogue. If you remember the Cleffa, the Baby Wars, pretty much. That was a very, very interesting end of the season, pretty much. Patchy. Remember when that card was like a $20 card in reverse? Now I think it's probably down to $1, just like everything else. And we are winding down with the trainers. So if you have any questions, you know how to contact me. I think I've rambled on long enough. And thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.